Eden Hazard, the magician, the guy who can do it all. Honestly, he can create something out of nothing. He can simply just dribble a whole team as well. He's had some very big highs and some very big lows throughout his career, and he just retired. I think it's only right to rank every single season that he's had of his career on a tier list and just reminisce on the player he was and the career he had. Let's just start off with the 2007-2008 season, and this was Hazard's breakout year with Lille in Ligue 1. Keep in mind, this guy was only a teenager. He was only 16, but his performances were already catching the eyes of football enthusiasts. Hazard made significant contributions to Lille's attacks, and he showcased his skill, his flair, even in those early years. His dribbling ability and his creativity were evident. As I said, he was only 16, and he had 4 appearances, which at the time, for his age, obviously now you see Lamine Yamal, all these guys at 16, even Zaire Emery. You see all these guys coming out, only 16, 17, and playing big time football. But at that time, 2007, 2008, it wasn't really the case of that. We didn't really have any 16-year-olds coming on playing every single time. So for a 16-year-old like Hazard, this was huge, and for him to get four appearances, that's huge at the time. So honestly, I'll just put the season as okay because this guy just came out. He this is his first season, and for him to get into that Lille team at times, that's impressive as its own. 2008-2009 season was another important chapter in Eden Hazard's career, and he continued to impress with Lille. By this time, he was becoming a key player for the team, showcasing his talent and potential. The Belgium appeared in 13 matches and started in 13 games in Ligue 1. 17-year-old Eden Hazard had 5 goal contributions that year. He had 4 goals and an assist. To be honest, it was a very good showcasing from him to the world, but compared to other seasons, obviously, I'm just going to put it at okay. I think it's disrespectful if I put it as good, great, or just world class. I think, obviously, compared to other seasons, it's just okay, but for Eden Hazard, this is impressive, man. For 17 to play 13 games, it's huge. In the 09-010 season, this is where Eden Hazard really started to make a name for himself. He was gaining interest from all the big clubs in the world, and because of what he was doing as an 18-year-old. This is the season Eden Hazard became a star for Lille, and he had 31 starts in Ligue 1 that season. Eden Hazard had 23 goal contributions this season in all competitions, scoring 10 goals and 13 assists. I'm putting this as a good Eden Hazard season, as it really put him on the map and the radar of all football fans. The 010-011 season is where Eden Hazard really became the superstar we all know and love. This was his coming out season, I would say. Eden Hazard won the Player of the Year award that year in Ligue 1, and he was the youngest player to achieve such a feat. This was the year Eden Hazard, as I said, cemented himself as one of the best players in Ligue 1, and he was one of the primary stars there. Eden Hazard brought Lille back to the top of French football, a position where they have not been in ages. Lille would go on to win the league that season, and with the help of the Player of the Year, obviously Hazard. Hazard had 12 goals and 14 assists in all competitions, but to be honest, when you look at a player like Hazard, goals should not be really in consideration. This guy does a lot more than goals and assists. His stats really did not demonstrate the impact he had. 12 goals and 14 assists, that's still impressive, but he was doing a lot more. The little things Eden Hazard was doing was making a difference for Lille. So, as I said, Lille also won the Coupe de France. To me, this is going to the great seasons category, for sure. The 2011-2012 season ended up being Eden Hazard's last season in Lille, and what a season ended up being. What a way to go out for your boyhood club, and Eden Hazard did not disappoint one single bit. Lille were not able to retain Ligue 1, but they ended up finishing 3rd, and Eden Hazard racked up another Player of the Year award, winning it in consecutive years. 20 goals and 18 assists only in Ligue 1. Those are absurd numbers. Those are insane numbers for a 20-year-old. This is a season where Eden Hazard had to transform his game to be the guy who, could score, could do it all, and he had to take on the role. Gervinho, their left winger from the title-winning year, left this season and went to Arsenal, which was a big hit for Lille, and dwindled their title-winning chances. Their guy who finished all the chances created from Hazard, Moussa Sow, started to see some huge regression after having a 20-plus goal season in the previous year, and he was eventually sold off to Fenerbahce in the January transfer window. This makes Lille finishing 3rd even more impressive in my opinion, because it showed how much Eden Hazard carried that season. To lose 2 of your best players, the previous season, and to completely transfer your game to, in order to score goals for your club, to be honest, that's huge. So For me, this is huge because this team needed goals at the time. They were lacking goals, and Eden Hazard, he managed to put this team into Champions League place. So this is going to a world-class season for me. 2012-2013 was the season Eden Hazard made the big move to Chelsea, who just came off their Champions League win. It was his first year in the Premier League, and it's fair to say he didn't look out of place at the slightest. In his first 3 games as a Chelsea player in the Premier League, he had 1 goal and 4 assists. He stamped his mark straight away as a future Chelsea player, and he ended the season with 9 goals and 11 assists. I'm putting this season as great. He came into the league and straight away, he didn't look out of place. He didn't look like he was getting bullied. Eden Hazard really put a stamp. He wasn't as good as his last year in Lille, but this season he looked impressive as well. It looked like he was a guy who can really improve and become a huge star in the Premier League. So I'm putting this season as great, to be honest. 2013-2014 started off with the Super Cup final against Bayern, where Hazard was on one that game. Even though Chelsea lost on pens, it really felt like the 22-year-old at the time was improving majorly. In the 2012-2013 season, Hazard was used in a variety of positions, but in 13-14, he completely made that left wing position his and played almost all his games there. Mid this season is the season where he took that superstar jump. He had the most dribbles completed in the league of 3.8 dribbles per game. He had 14 goals and 7 assists, but his job was way more than just scoring goals and assisting. If we're talking about just wingers though, that season in the Premier League, he was the most prolific when it came to scoring wise. He also came second in PFA Player of the Year and won the Premier League Young Player of the Year. In the 2014 World Cup, he impressed as well. This was one of his first matches, I would say first major tournaments with Belgium, so he impressed a lot in the group stages. And for me, this is a world-class Eden Hazard season. He was Chelsea's highest scorer and had the most assists. Without him, Chelsea would be nowhere near the top 3 of the Premier League, so it's impressive. I'm putting this as a world-class season, as I said. Very impressive season for Hazard. 2014-2015 is my favorite Eden Hazard season. I don't even know why, to be honest. Is it the nostalgia of seeing Diego Costa and Cesc Fabregas in the same team? It might be, but Hazard had a phenomenal season and helped Chelsea win the Premier League. Hazard had 19 goals and 13 assists in all competitions, but again, when you observe a player like Hazard, you can't be basing his season off goals and assists. In the 4th game versus Swansea, he didn't score or assist at all. But if you look at his stats, this guy completed 9 dribbles out of 10. And this wasn't a one-off occasion. This guy did it a lot. A lot of the time, Hazard was completing 9 to 10 dribbles a game. And this is an impact Hazard had, a lot of the time. Hazard won the Player of the Year in the Premier League. And to be honest, this is a goal season for me. Hazard really put himself into another category of players this season. 15-16 was an unexpected regression from Hazard, to be honest. We can say it was a regression from Chelsea as well, as they went from 1st to 10th place and sacked Jose Mourinho, a coach that helped Hazard a lot. To be honest, Hazard won scores for 2,358 minutes over 30 matches until 31st of January 2016, which is ridiculous. I mean, this is probably the worst start he's ever had to his career. And to be honest, I find it crazy that it took him that much to score in the league as well. He didn't score until the end of April. That was his first goal in the Premier League. And that Hazard season, to be honest, was a bit of a mystery. One that doesn't make sense till this day. He redeemed himself a tad bit in April and May. He also had an incredible Euros that he looked like a completely different, player too, that the one he was playing in Chelsea. And to be honest, I'm putting this season as bad anyway. The Euros performance doesn't redeem it that much. Although it might make me want to put it in average, I'm just gonna put it in bad anyway, because it was such a weird dip in form that it wasn't unexpected, to be honest. 16-17 was the Antonio Conte reign and the rebuild of Chelsea. After a horrible season in the previous year, it was going to be a year where Hazard had to redeem himself after a disappointing year in the previous year, obviously. We saw new signs of improvement all across the board for Chelsea, as in the first game, Eden Hazard had a man of the match performance against West Ham. It looked like he was coming back to his best, scoring with a penalty. And to be completely honest, it seemed like Eden Hazard was not the same Eden Hazard we saw from a few years ago. It seemed like this Chelsea side was missing something. And after that Arsenal game, where Chelsea lost 3-0, Antonio Conte made a huge decision to go with 3 in the back, with 2 fullbacks, Marcos Alonso and Victor Moses on each side. And to be honest, that changed the course of the league for that season, as Chelsea were flying after the tactical change was made. Eden Hazard was also incredible in this system and looked like the Eden Hazard we know and love. Eden Hazard had more goals in the end of October than what he had the whole of the 15-16 season, and he ended the season with 16 goals and 5 assists. and Eden Hazard made the Premier League team of the season that year and was a crucial part of why Chelsea won the league. I'm putting this season as world class. Eden Hazard just came back to his best. 15-18 started off on a rough note for Hazard as he was just coming off an ankle injury that would keep him out in the first few games. The season overall just started off weird. Antonio Conte had beef with Diego Costa and he was trying to get rid of him, even though he was the top scorer of that team last season. Diego Costa never played a game for Chelsea again, and Chelsea went off to sign Alvaro Morata for a record fee. The transition for Morata wasn't as smooth as fans would have thought. Morata had a lot of lows throughout his Chelsea career, and overall Eden Hazard had to carry a lot of the load. He ended the season with 17 goals and 13 assists in all competitions. Eden Hazard had a better second half of the season than the first half. He played a lot better in the second half, but I do believe the absence of Diego Costa hurt the team overall and Conte's system that was so successful. And to be honest, it was figured out by the rest of the league. A lot of the rest of the league, they figured out this 3-in-the-back system, and Chelsea wasn't the same. They finished 5th, and overall it was a down year for Hazard as well. But what was happening inside the club, the problems with Antonio Conte and the board, I wouldn't say it's all down to Hazard. I was gonna put this season in the great category, but we gotta put the World Cup into play as well. That 2018 World Cup from Hazard was unbelievable. Was out of this world. It was incredible. I'm out of words. It was unbelievable. The performance there was historic, and he gained Belgium to a 3rd place spot, which is the best achievement they have had in the World Cup. Hazard was a top 3 player in the World Cup that season, that year. To be honest, we could say even top 2. I think him and Modric were the best 2 players in the World Cup. To be honest, he could have been awarded the best player in the tournament if Belgium made the final, but that wasn't the case. Because of that World Cup, putting that Hazard season as world class, I was going to put it as great, but I'm changing it. It's world class season. 18-19 was Eden Hazard's last season with Chelsea and his best, in my opinion. Hazard carried this Chelsea team to a 3rd place finish, and this Chelsea team had no competent or consistent striker, and a lot of the heavy load on the offense was on Eden Hazard to produce, and he did the best he could in that situation. A lot changed about this Chelsea team. Sarri became the coach, and a lot of people's eyes, he wasn't the right guy for the job. But despite this, I thought Sarri got the best out of Hazard, and he got the most production out of him out of any coach. Hazard has 7 goals in the first 8 games of the season, and that was the best start of his career. He even ended this season strongly, leading this team to a Europa League trophy. And yeah, this season was full of memorable memories for Hazard. I would say, like the goal against West Ham, incredible goal. He dribbled the whole team and had a great finish. His 2 goals and assists in the Europa League final and winning the trophy in his last ever game for the team was great too. Hazard ended the season with 21 goals and 17 assists in all competitions. Hazard ended his Chelsea chapter, in fact, in great fashion, and in my opinion, this was his best ever season in his career. I'm putting this season as a GOAT season. After years and years of rumors, Eden Hazard finally got to his dream club, Real Madrid, for 100 million. With a high price comes a high expectations, and every Madridista expected big things from Hazard. In 1920, Hazard came in overweight, and even before the first game of the season, he got injured. His first game came in the 4th game of the season against Levante as a sub, but to be honest, every single game up until the Granada game was disappointing from Hazard. He wasn't impacting the game much like he would in Chelsea, and seemed like he lost a lot of pace. But in the Granada game, we had a bit of hope. And as a Real Madrid fan, watching that, I was like, damn, Hazard, this is the Hazard I want to see. He scored his first Real Madrid game, in fact, in that game, and he assisted a goal as well. Every Real Madrid fan knew it was going to take time for Hazard. It was slow clicking until November 26th of 2019. The game where Hazard looked unstoppable, like the Hazard we truly know from Chelsea days, and the link-up play and the dribbling was the best we've ever seen him display at Real Madrid. Until the progress of that all ended after Thomas Meunier completely injured him and he went on to miss 3 months, and to be honest, he never came back the same after that PSG game. He was having moments here and there, I would say, but yeah, although Real Madrid won the league, they would have won it without him as well in the squad. He ended the season with 1 goal and 7 assists. Honestly, this Hazard season goes to bad. It's just unfortunate the injuries happened, but he did have some good moments. 2021 was a new dawn for Hazard and a new chance for him to completely start off healthy. But this was just not possible, as Hazard was just injured straight away before the season even started and couldn't get on the pitch until Halloween. But in the first game back as a starter, he scored, which filled the supporters with hope that Hazard's second season could be better. But yet again, Hazard got injured, and this series of events would not stop, as Hazard could not complete more than 5 games without getting injured. In the big games where he was able to play, like the Chelsea game, the semifinals in the Champions League, he was disappointing, to be honest. He was nowhere to be seen, and Real Madrid fans, they weren't happy. And especially after the game where he was laughing with his old teammates, Real Madrid fans were not happy with that at all, and they were even less happy with Hazard after this. I will say Hazard, overall, this was not a good season as well. He ended the season with 4 goals and 1 assist. This was a season where it was meant to be a bounce back, but none of that happened. He didn't even perform. He was injured most of the time, and a lot of the Real Madrid fans' hope just went down. So this season goes to bad as well. In 21-22, Hazard was finally healthy in the beginning of the season, and under new coach Carlo Ancelotti, he was given another big chance. He was given a big chance to begin the season as a starter, but Hazard slowly was getting less minutes, and he was benched because of the emergence of Vinicius Jr., who was, he looked like he just hit another gear. One that Hazard was not even able to compete with. Vinicius was just making an instant impact anytime he was on the pitch. Hazard could eventually he was not even given minutes, even when he was fully healthy, and he lost his place in Madrid. He had his worst season ever, with 2 goals and an assist, with 2 of the goals contributions coming against weaker teams in the Copa del Rey. Overall, this season is going into the worst category because it was his last chance to even make a mark, and he just couldn't take advantage of it at all. So 22-23 is where the whole chapter of Eden Hazard's career ends, and it was a season where he was almost non-existent. He was completely ignored by Carlo Ancelotti, and the last good game in his career came against Celtics, in my opinion, where Benzema got injured and he came on as a false 9 because we had no striker, and he played pretty good and he got a goal. But after that game, he was not able to replicate anywhere near close to that performance he had, and he was just disappointing, and Carlo Ancelotti completely dismissed. He was not a part of the team basically. He had 1 goal only and 2 assists in all competitions. Very sad end to his career. As a Real Madrid fan, I thought he's gonna be a lot more than what he was. I thought he's gonna come in. I didn't think he was gonna be the Ronaldo replacement where a lot of people thought he would, because that's not his role. His role is not to score goals, but I thought he's gonna have superstar impact where a guy like Vinicius has right now. It's just disappointing end to his career, and he had a very good career though. That's the truth. With Chelsea and Leo, he was unbelievable, and we're gonna miss a player like Eden Hazard a lot. For the last season, I'm just gonna put it at worse as well. It just wasn't a good end, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed more of these styles, I have a Messi video up as well of all his seasons before joining Inter Miami, so let me know what you guys think, and yeah, subscribe if you want more of this. So yeah, peace out.